Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Jaime Cerreta. On this podcast, we celebrate everything local in Arizona. And today I'm with the chef of a beloved and staple restaurant in Phoenix, Chef Justin Beckett of Beckett's Table. Chef, great to see you today.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is amazing. I'm excited.
How old is the restaurant now?
We're going to be 15 in October.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You have a teenager.
I have 2 teenagers, yeah. Well, 3, actually, if you count the kids. Yeah,
Oh, my goodness. How exciting.
I'm very grateful and excited. And you know what? I'm constantly, when I'm in the kitchen, I'm like, what is the evolution? What is it? What do I need to do? What needs to be transforming? What needs to stay the same? How do we keep this rolling, keep this going? So it's kind of like a little ticking clock in my head.
About growth
and changing. You know what? People's needs 15 years ago are not people's needs now for restaurants. So it's very interesting kind of thinking about how the restaurant should and does evolve.
Yeah, and as we talk about evolving, I'm going to get straight to the headline.
Okay.
Because this week, some chefs here in the Valley came together and went to the Arizona Restaurant Association and said, we got to do something through the dog days of summer. Tell me what's happening. Starts Friday.
Yeah, we're very excited. This is the first time we're doing this. And Bernie Kantak over at Gladly and Citizen Public House and Minnow and Beginner's Luck, he's got all these restaurants. And he took the time to go and sit and talk with the Arizona Restaurant Association. And he said, I like Restaurant Week, spring and fall, but I want to do something that's more focused on individual chef restaurants. So chef-driven, independents, smaller restaurants that you maybe have a hard time in the summer or even just want to feature a little special week just for the, kind of chef-driven thoughts. Yeah. So they picked the first week of August, and we're rolling right into it. And we are focusing on doing food that's a little bit more fun for us to make. So not necessarily things that are on our menu, but things that people can come in and try. So it's almost like a menu of specials, if you will. So I threw in a few favorites because you have to satisfy everybody when they come in. But I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope it happens every year.
So this is August 1st through the 10th. This is a $55 3-course menu that includes an appetizer, your main meal, and your dessert.
Yep.
You have some of my favorites on your menu.
Do tell. No.
I'll just go through and cherry pick because that's what I love to do is look at menus and think about what I want to eat later. I love that salad I had at your place recently. So I probably would order the local organic summer vegetable salad. I like the way this is positioned so I can go to my dessert next just for fun.
Right. Well, we debated putting that first, but then we thought people would think it would be weird. But clearly you would not think it would be weird.
No, not at all. I'm going to go straight to that stone fruit tart.
I can't wait to make that.
It sounds with lemon honey cream. And then I'm going to go to, of course, I feel like when you go to Beckett's Table, you have to have the short rib.
It's really become it is our signature dish. Yeah. So it's fun to have it on there.
Oh my gosh, with smashed potato, sauteed veg, red onion demi-glaze. Tell me about where, I'm like.
Well, I remember when I sent you the menu, you were eating something for lunch or whatever, and you're like, man, thanks for sending. Now I have to text people. I'm like, hey, is it okay to send? When I do it for the printer, I text him. I'm like, hey, is now a good time to send you a menu? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm not eating anything. I'm not hungry. It's good. It's a great time.
I was chomping on lettuce at my desk and drooling over the menu, so it was very fun.
Perfect.
But this was something the chefs really wanted to do out of necessity because of the summer. And tell me about what the summer feels like for the chefs right now.
Well, summers, I moved here in 1990, and I remember there was a percentage drop-off in the summer. People go on vacation, the snowbirds go back home, but it wasn't to the point where you're like changing how you run your business. And now I think that the drop-off can be 50 or more %. So if we lose half of our town to different destinations around the world, which I want everyone to travel, I want everyone to experience times, and you need a break from the 100 or the 115 degrees. But we have to figure out a way to support the restaurants so that they can continue to run their businesses in the summer, because another thing, the summers used to only be a couple months. Now they're like 4, 5, 6 months people are gone. So we really have to figure out a way to support. And, I don't think the restaurants are asking for free anything. I think we're just asking for continued support throughout the year.
Yeah. How does that impact the way you order with your suppliers, et cetera?
So I think people kind of know the wave of the season, the flow, but I'm upfront with my purveyors. I mean, I say, this coming month is going to be a little slower. I will actually order strategically so that things that are shelf stable, I have more of in the fall and the spring, so that I don't have to buy as much of that in the summer. For instance, cornstarch or flour, or something that sits on a shelf that doesn't go bad. And that way, I don't have to spend that money in the summer when the books are tighter.
Yeah. 15 years ago, you found this space off of Indian School. Tell me where you're located, and because the space had history before too.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're smirking because you kind of know, but so we were hunting for a restaurant space for about 6 months, and we had been kind of on 7th Avenue and 7th Street
As
and kind
Beckett's Table.
Well, the concept was going to be Beckett's Table. We didn't know the name, but we knew the idea and the concept. And we drove by that corner, 36th and Indian School, and there was one of the the real estate space available signs. And so we popped in there and we looked in there and we made a few phone calls. And they said, well, that space right there on the corner is not really available, but the space behind it in the back is around the backside where the Arizona Ballet Dance Company used to be. And we said, well, we're a new restaurant. We don't really want a hidden location. And it was very affordable. And we were like, well, I don't know, should we? And so we went and had lunch at That's Italiano. And we said, wow, this space, it looks pretty cool. And we love how it's on the corner. It's got its parking. It's got potential to put a patio, wraparound patio. So we were excited about that. And we called the landlord back and we said, we would prefer a space up front. So a couple days later, they said, well, we've had some conversations with our tenant, and if the space was available, would you be interested? And we said, absolutely. So I think we were very sure that we wanted to be in that neighborhood. I think we were very sure that we wanted a frontage. We wanted a beautiful space that we could make our own. But I will tell you that we were never more sure that that was the spot until after we did demolition. And when we did demolition and took everything out, those exposed wood beams, the floor, the new layout that we created, the stone walls, the brick behind the bar, all of that kind of like jumped out and like showed itself to us once we started pulling everything back.
The beautiful bones.
The beautiful bones. And it had been restaurants for years. I think it's been restaurants for 40 years before we got there. So there was just layer upon layer upon layer of drywall and paint and things that we just basically took all the way down to the studs.
You're chipping away history.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
You're learning its story, learning its story, and then creating your thing. And then we have to mention, I love that you put it in your paperwork that it was a Mary Coyle ice cream, which is part of our family. The Cerretas and the Coyles are related. So my mom and dad had that Mary Coyle ice cream where you are.
Yep.
I used to tap dance for customers at like 8, 9 years old.
You've been performing since you were a kid. Look at you.
Whether they wanted me to or not, I was there. And I was definitely dipping into the gum for the bubblegum ice cream that my dad, I don't think, ever made.
I was going to ask you, what was your favorite ice cream flavor then? Do you remember?
It was then, but I don't think it ever got made.
Was it blue?
I asked my dad. Well, I think it never happened because I always threw my grubby little hands in the bubblegum. And so my dad wasn't going to. Now it became unsafe for the machines and whatever.
So
the bubblegum ice cream never happened that I remember.
Okay.
But he did let me get do like 9 scoops of ice cream.
Oh my Lord.
And then I only learned as probably a 30-year-old woman that he was using a melon scooper.
Oh, the tiny little one like this? Okay.
So
what
I'd
a
go
trickster.
to school and be like, oh my God, I had 9 scoops of ice cream in my cone last night. They're like, you did not. I totally remember you did not. And then, I did.
Yeah, you
but
did.
I only found out it was a melon scooper.
That's actually not a bad idea. Do a lot of smaller scoops so you get a lot of different flavors.
It's a tasting. This is probably why I eat the way I do today.
You go.
You ordered this, you ordered this, you ordered this, and let's all do a little share bill so we can do the tasting. I love what you did with the space. And right on the door, it says, come together.
Yep.
And then right in front of that, as you walk in, is the big shared space, that big table. Why did you, what does come together mean for you? And why was it important to have that space or that table?
So a lot of what we wanted to create was a feeling. And I think, a lot of people can check boxes. You have to have this wine, you have to have this food, you have to have, this table, you have to have the servers in these uniforms. But what that all equals is how you feel, like kind of like your unconscious, like you walk into the door and are you like cringe? Are you excited? Are you feel welcome? Are you home? Are you overwhelmed?
Yeah.
Is it too much? Yeah, lights, all that kind of stuff. So there's people who get paid a whole lot to figure out what the exact decibel and lighting and all that should be. Okay. But for us, it was really about a feeling and if you felt welcome. And something that I think is super strong for me in my cooking and also just kind of how I think and feel is that my nose tells me a lot about what's happening in a space.
Ooh.
So a lot of times you'll see me smelling food. And when I get a plate put down in front of me, like the first thing I do is stick my face into it.
It's like a psalm. You're like
exactly. So anyway, the communal table is something we really wanted to push. We'd been to New Orleans and Charleston and San Francisco and Portland, and a lot of the feelings that were happening, 15 years ago was the communal tables. And we really liked that idea. We really hadn't seen a lot of it in Phoenix. So there's a company called Gobi Walnut who is in charge of harvesting trees that have fallen.
Wow.
And so they found this specific tree in the Portland National Forest. They got a phone call. It had fallen into, get this, an insane asylum on the side of at the edge of the park. And they had to come and take it down and put it in their thing. And maybe he sold us a bill of goods. I don't know. But what a great story, right?
Yeah, it is so good.
So you go up there and you say, I want this type of wood. And I want it to be about this long. And they show you, and what they've done is they've taken these huge saws and they've gone back and forth and cut this huge tree into like planks.
Wow.
And they have a forklift and they lift it up and they say, do you like that one? You're like, it's got too many this, that. And they go to the next one and they lift it up. Wow. So we actually have a piece of that tree from the Portland National Forest and it's in our restaurant. And it's just a great gathering space. We've done plenty of events and parties there. And it's just a wonderful place to be.
Well, one of my other favorite things is when you walk in, you look kind of over that table and right into the kitchen.
Yep.
And most nights we see your face there.
And we wanted to throw a dinner party. That was kind of the idea. Like, let's throw a dinner party every night and have the neighborhood come. And when people come to my house for a dinner party, where do they end up?
The kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Yeah, probably with a little bar stool sitting at the kitchen island watching you cook.
And just watching. And so we, on purpose, jutted the kitchen out into the middle of the dining room to kind of create that feeling. So you're part of the experience. You're hearing the pans. You're hearing the fire. It's all part of it.
Good job, chef. Yes, chef.
Well, yeah. Most of the time.
Yes, most of the time is right.
Yeah.
Is right for sure. And tell me about your partners in this. And you guys sat together and made a list of what a restaurant should be.
Yeah.
What was the number one thing that it should not be?
Oh, I don't even know.
Maybe it's the flashing lights, the uncomfortable.
A discoteca? I don't know. I think fake, maybe. You wouldn't want it to feel like you were insincere or that you were phony. I mean, that would probably be a put off. I don't know how you directly relate that to like something happening while you're there, but I think that if you asked all four of us separately, we would say we want it to be authentic, and not phony. So
who are they all for? Who are you?
So my wife and Scott and Katie Stevens. So it's two husband and wife couples, and I knew Scott from being a bartender at the Merck Bar.
Stop it.
100,000 years ago.
Oh my God, you were a bartender at the Merck?
No, I was not, but I was the chef at Roy's, and so I would go over there after work and say hi and high five. And I've never been a big drinker, so sometimes I'd go and have a Coke and just say hi. And but he and I became friendly, and he was in a good spot where he was kind of wrapping up a project, and so was I, and we sat down and had a burger at Deluxe.
Remember 32nd Street in Camelback,
and we said, should we? And then the next meeting was at our house, drinking that wine and making that list.
How cool is that?
It was very organic, very fun. It's very cool to have people who have not just similar views, but similar feelings about the experiences. And so we've always been on the same page about a lot of things. So it's been really, really great.
And the Stevens, is that what you said? They bring to the table the wine expertise, right?
Absolutely. So not only just wine and wine tasting and wine education, but Scott was in the wine cellar building business as well.
Wow.
So they met at Tarbell's. They were serving and bartending at Tarbell's. So they met there. So they grew up in the industry with beverage. And so it's always been a part of them. I mean, my vacations are around, I don't know, like eating and relaxing and hanging out with the family. And their vacations are about wineries and discovering, places like that. So, I mean, they like to relax too, but it's really incredible. Like I often think about other people and their focuses and their knowledge, and I'm like, yeah, I know almost everything there is to know about, this stick of butter or whatever.
Isn't it
And I'm like,
funny?
that's so random and so weird, but they know everything about this piece of dirt that this grape was, So it, like for me, it's
the
like,
Terra.
it's a very interesting.
It is, isn't it? Well, it's fun. I mean, people are passionate about all these different things, and it's fun to learn, and then it's fun to combine those resources and create something special. And as you talk, you drop all these beautiful names like the Merc Bar,
Right.
like Tarbell's,
Yep.
like Roy's,
And
These that
Zen,
have
even
history.
Zen 32 and Deluxe Burger. I mean, that was
Yeah.
such a part of, where I was going.
Yeah, and you think about how Phoenix has changed and grown up, and even that area, 32nd Street and Camelback, has kind of revitalized and brought more new energy in that area as well. It's just fun to be someone who's been in the valley for some time. But what was it? Did you live in 5 states, 3 countries by 18? So
Yeah,
where were you before you came and made your home here?
So people always, when they hear my story, they always say, "Oh, you're an army kid, or a military kid." And I said, "No, I was a kid of hippies." And so they loved to travel, and then we were never in one place for very long. I was in the Bay Area a lot as a kid, all around, living in all up and down the peninsula, and then Hawaii and Washington and Guatemala and New Hampshire and just kind of everywhere. We lived in Canada for a short period of time, so I think. I don't know that I was necessarily being like, well, this is going to be great for me being a chef one day, seeing all these different types of food. But I think maybe there was a part of it that was kind of seeping in.
Yeah.
And my dad loved to cook, and my mom was a pastry chef in her early career before raising all these kids. So so she, it was just around. It was part of us. And I loved the experiences. I loved traveling. I loved being, in a ton of different places and houses and areas. But I also love being settled. I love our family. I wanted a house that, our kids could come home from college and have somewhere familiar, and they've been in the same room for most of their life. And I think it's cool.
Yeah. How old are all the kids?
So the boys are 15 and 17.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Those are interesting ages. Hopefully we have some ASU kids coming soon.
Well, maybe. One of them is
That
very
was-
interested in the Cronkite School
Oh, really?
at ASU. So
have to
we'll
have
see.
them come visit.
Yeah, that would be
show them
fun.
around,
Yeah,
a little
absolutely.
tour. We do this stuff every single day.
Yeah,
So
right?
Let me know about that.
Yeah.
So what brought you to Phoenix then? And when was that?
So I was at the Inn at Spanish Bay on the Monterey Peninsula, which is one of the luckiest and most beautiful places to ever work. And I was there for about 14 months, and I had jumped in right out of culinary school, and I loved it. I was like, all I wanted to do was be there. They had to kick me out, and I was pretty good at it too. So like I excelled through all the stations,
Nice.
and I took on a lot of duties. And they said, "Hey, we got the franchise rights to do Arizona, Roy's for Arizona, and do you want to move down and be one of the sous chefs and help us open that?" So I said I didn't really have any ties, so my roommate and I, we jumped in a car and a U-Haul and came down here. We moved down here in the middle of August, and I remember unpacking and being like, "What did I do?"
This was a mistake.
But anyway, so yeah, I moved down for Roy's,
Yeah.
and we opened up a bunch of Roy's here and in Southern California, and I don't know, it was a good move. I met my wife here. We opened
Where'd you meet
restaurants.
her?
We have exactly.
Did you meet at Roy's?
No, we met. Ironically enough, we met at Raw at Kierland. We
Oh,
were at a
really?
mutual friends going away party. So
So
We-
go to that going away party. They always say go to the mutual friends parties because you never
Right.
know
yeah,
what might happen.
it's a great way to meet people.
Yes. So Roy's, where was that located?
So the first
Indian
one was
Bend?
located Indian Bend and Scottsdale Road. Yep. And then we did the Esplanade was our second one, and we ended up doing Chandler and JW Marriott up
Okay.
north.
Where Kambara was, right? Wasn't it what Kambara?
I don't remember what was there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that was come on, now you're dating me. That's like a lifetime ago. I was 20 years old or something.
Oh,
No, 21.
I mean, but isn't it fun though to see this history? And then I know how much you put into our youth coming up and how important it is to be a good leader and to help mentor. Why is that important to you?
Well, I'm not going to say it's a sob story like this kind of career is or culinary is ending, or it's going to be taken over by robots or anything, but I do think that I was given fantastic, wonderful maybe even inappropriate opportunities for me to, like move forward and
What
move
does
up.
that mean, inappropriate?
Well,
Maybe
like
they
maybe
should've
I
hired the
wasn't
other guy.
ready,
Oh.
maybe, inappropriate is the wrong word. Just,
You're
I was
granted the opportunity.
right.
And you ran with it.
And I had people who were really on my side. And I don't think that maybe I would have been in the same boat if I didn't. So when I have an opportunity to help someone out and, and I'm not talking about giving them $5, I'm talking about like, let's spend an extra hour together and let's work on this, And so I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying that I'm better than you. I'm just saying that I've done this X amount of times and I will show you what's worked for me and what hasn't. So it's a lot. I mean, I look around the kitchen sometimes and like the combined age of the kids might, equal me, so I gotta just keep sharing what I know.
Yeah. You're the teacher.
Yeah.
What is the, there are some kitchens where you hear the yes chef. What is that? You have to explain that culture with the yes chef.
Well, are you watching The Bear?
No, I'm not. Is it
Okay.
on The Bear?
Yeah. They refer to everyone as chef. So it's just like chef.
Yes.
So I think back in the day, it was very proper and it was very important that it was stoic almost. And so back in the French brigade, the only response, no matter what the task or the question was yes, chef. So it's like, no matter what, you are almost, I don't know, slave is a bad word, but it's
on the team, happy to help.
It's 100% I'm
point.
loyal to you and I will do whatever you ask, no matter if it means cleaning toilets or peeling potatoes or making me a meal. That's where it comes from. It's just very, proper.
Yeah, the yes chef.
And I don't think people in our restaurant feel necessary to do that, but they do call me chef.
Yeah.
It's kind of just my name there.
Yeah.
So,
Chef.
yeah.
I love it. What does it mean though to be chef and owner?
It means I change a lot of air conditioning filters. It means I do HR on my days off. It means, when something leaks, you get on your hands and knees and fix it. I mean, that's the owner stuff part of it. I often joke around that in culinary school, they never told me that these are the things that I would be doing. They always told me about the food and the nutrition and the education and all that. But I also think that the buck stops with you. So no matter what, when the phone rings, it's on you. If somebody's sick, that means you're coming in. There's never a moment when you're not available. And so, the alarm goes off in the middle of the night, you're going down there in your shorts trying to figure out what's going on, So there are joys with it that I don't think you get as an employee. But also, you make the joke of like moving up in the world and like creating your own wealth and being, getting to the top of the food chain, if you will. And now you're an owner and you own the place. But really, I've created a situation where now everyone that comes in is my boss, and not just the chef above me.
What does that mean?
Well, in essence, I answer to everyone who eats there, right? They're the people that are paying my paycheck. They're the people that are paying the bills. So I'm kind of, I'm there for them.
Yeah.
And like, I guess if you're an entry level pantry chef or a dishwasher or even just, a saute chef or even a sous chef, you have a boss. You have a direct, like, I'm here to make this guy proud of what I'm doing and happy. And as long as I do that, somebody else will take care of the rest.
Yeah.
But when you're the owner, all of these people are here to let you know how you're doing.
Yeah. And I imagine they do, especially in today's world. Tell me about the Google review, because I've been hearing about. He's laughing already. I
don't know what you're specifically talking about,
like
but
the Google review means a lot to our small business owners. And even like I did a food tour in San Diego. Hey, will you write me a Google? Like
Right.
the Google review seems to have like the all powerful Google review, the 5-star.
yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is driven by having phones in our hand. And what's funny is, I'll come back to this, but we were so worried about like what our website looked like and how Google saw our website and how it picked out words out of our website now. And I'm like, I don't even know if anyone goes to websites anymore. They just Google something or ask AI and like it tells you where the restaurant is and what are the hours and what's best there and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, reviews are important. I think a lot of times reviews are taken out of context. And just like, when you get, nobody reads 4 paragraphs anymore. They read the top headline. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but in general, I feel like that's what happens. And we take a lot of pride in our reviews. And we we read our reviews, and if there's a common thread, we will often bring it up in manager meetings and say, hey, listen, 5 people this month have said that XYZ was too small or too much or too hot or, too spicy or, it was whatever. They had a wobbly table, 5 people. So, okay, we got to work on tables. Yeah.
Fix that table.
Well, and we can go back and we can say, where did that person sit? And what table? Oh my God, it was the same table. We do have a broken table, that kind of thing.
Wow.
But a lot of times when you get a negative review, which happens, either on our bad or their bad or a combination, getting into a conversation about it is really tricky, right? You don't want to be the next headline of like, look at how funny these combative statements were. So a lot of times if we have something that's negative, we will reach out to them and thank them for leaving a review, and we will absolutely address it. But sometimes it's unreasonable. And sometimes it's hard to have a conversation with somebody about that. So oftentimes we'll leave it alone. But we have very good reviews. We're 4.8 or above on most all the sites. And TripAdvisor is a big one for us. OpenTable's a big one. Google's obviously important. Yelp, it's there too. So,
but what about all these honors that you've received? I mean, Food and Wine Magazine's People's Best New Chef.
Yeah.
Condé Nast publications, all these different things that have merit and weight that you've received as well.
Well, I think the golden ticket is a James Beard, right? As far as a chef is concerned, to win a James Beard, that's the holy grail. And we have a few James Beard Award winners in this town, and that's really amazing. And we didn't for a while. Like when I moved here, it maybe I don't know, was Tarbell or Vincent or Christopher or Eddie. I don't know if any of those guys were award winners, but the awards are fantastic. They're great. They're really something to talk about. There's something to brag about. We have like I think 14 years or something like that consecutive wine spirits awards from Wine Spectator. But it doesn't matter on a Tuesday if you sell something that's cold or not perfect. Yeah. Like it none of that matters if the person in front of you is not enjoying what they're doing. So as much as we like to brag about that stuff or talk about it on social or post it in the restaurant, the bottom line is you gotta show up every night and do it.
Yeah.
And make people happy. So
no doubt. Well, you do that.
Thank you.
For 15 years and counting here in the Valley. So that's a very big deal. Who's a chef that you like to go to their restaurant and dine with?
I mean, I have buddies, and I mostly like to show up and give them a hard time.
Yeah, of course.
So more even than eating. But
who's that?
I actually am kind of weird with my family. I like to order food to go sometimes, but I like to eat simple things like burritos and enchiladas and stuff. So I go to Richardson's a lot for to go food. Yeah. But Bernie and Gio, and when Steven had a brick and mortar spot, and I like the friendships and I like supporting, but more so than that, it's really about finding a way to feed the family that's comfortable and easy and quick, and it's 10 years ago that wasn't. I couldn't wait for date night, getting out. But now we're all. My wife's a teacher. The kids are in school. There's sports. There's all that. So it's like if I have one night off, I'm kind of just...
You want to be with the fam.
Well, and figuring out how to get food on the table.
Yeah. So you're not cooking.
I do sometimes, if like there's something they're like, hey, Dad, will you make that thing that you used to make for this? But a lot of times we order to-go food.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we got to support too.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite places in your neighborhood that you go to?
We do Richardson's. We do Parlor. There's actually Los Taquitos is a little Mexican place, that we love.
Oh my God. Guess where I went right after they told me you're having emergency eye surgery?
Where?
Los Taquitos.
You did?
For a burrito and a margarita and said, help me. Let me drink this.
That's good, yeah.
It is. It's delicious. Are they locally owned?
I believe so. I think they have 3 locations now, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I don't know. It's just kind of what I'm in the mood for. Like sometimes I'm like, I've been really into Middle Eastern and I don't know. Moroccan, I'm on the search.
Oh.
And a lot of times I'll text. I have a buddy, and we basically text in the middle of the night. And we're like, "Oh, look at this place. We have to go try it." And it's usually like some grocery store way out on the west side or something, and we end up like trekking out there.
Ooh,
so
that sounds fun.
yeah, we'll share some notes on
yes,
that.
we'll travel for
Right.
food,
Yep,
indeed.
100%.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to Chef's Week because that kicks off this week. It's August 1st through the 10th. Up to 40 different chef-owned, chef-driven, Arizona-owned restaurant here in the Valley. This is a way to really show the love to our chefs who give back to our community. We have to remember our local chefs really infuse a lot of culture and fun and support for baseball teams and the kids and stuff in
And flavor.
And flavor too in the Valley. So Chef Beckett, great to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Jamie's Local Love, the podcast. I'm your host, Jaime Cerreta. Our technician is Tom Heidinger. Our editors are Lorraine Shearing and Gina Coy. Do you know a business worthy of some local love? Email me at jcerreta@azfamily.com. Follow us at facebook.com/Cerreta and Instagram @Cerreta News. Make sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star review, please. And tell your friends about the podcast and the businesses we feature to show your local love. You can find us on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Jamie's Local Love, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast.